Hi, I'm Luis Azevedo, CEO and chairman of Bravo Mining Company, a company that are exploring PGMs and now copper as well in the Carajás region in Brazil.
Luis, very good to have you here. Was new for me as well. I'm not from these parts, but we're at the conference. Looks busy. There's a real buzz to it. Are you getting what you want out of it?
Yes, it's very interesting. This conference, we have full schedule, half an hour meetings all the way through. And I've been running to meetings and very excited because the PGMs is getting a lot of attention right now with the situation of new automobile industry.
For sure. And do people understand it yet? Because it's come from a place where people didn't really kind of know much about it. The conversations you're having now, people are excited.
Well, the conversation is quite different than 1 year ago. Yeah. 1 year ago, everybody thinks that the PGMs is something, would say, obsolete. Now people understand the importance of PGMs, not because the EVs productions are decreasing with the crisis of energy still going on. They realize that the hybrids probably is the most route that the automobile industry is taking. And also with the decrease of productions of South Africa, the possible laid off of people here in North America in the Sibanye operation, Stillwater, and also with the situation of the inventory of PGMs is decreasing everywhere in the world.
Right, so the thematic is strong and the future demand is strong. No one needs to worry about that. Hybrids are the way forward. I want to talk to you about Brazil though. Okay, so been in the press a bit. Right.
Yes.
I thought we'd be looking and focusing in on the US elections, but Brazil's had other ideas. What's happening there?
Well, I think it's some stress point between the X and the Supreme Court. I think both parts exaggerated a little bit. But what I think is the most important, that Brazil is very stable. The economy is stable. It's one of the few countries that is still growing in this economy. The people are happy with the change that have been done recently. We're going to have some elections here. And as I mentioned before, Brazil have seen the right and the left. And Brazil has always been in the middle.
Right.
So stability, I think, is the word that defines Brazil well.
Okay, and what are you seeing in terms of, you must get that question a lot, right? So foreign direct investment, when they look at situations like that, they're going, can we put our money in this country?
I don't think that's a question to nobody. We came from 60 international companies in Brazil to 130 at the moment.
Okay.
40% of these companies are doing lithium and rare earths, but you still have now people coming looking for niobium. They are looking for copper. They're still looking for nickel, even with this depressed price. And of course, gold. Brazil is the second largest commodity that Brazil produces, gold. So I think there's a flow of companies, especially from ASX, coming to Brazil very strongly.
That's good. I think that's good for mining as well. Right, let's talk about the projects. I want to come to the copper because I think that's quite exciting. Where are we with the projects? Is the permitting is probably on people's lips as well?
Yes, we submit the permit here last June.
Yeah.
The authorities is going to site in October. We expect that the first permit, which includes public hearing, which is what we call social license, is probably scheduled for the first quarter of next year. After that, what you have to do is to submit your engineering plans, and probably takes 6 months to maximum 1 year to get your installation license, which is our construction license. So we envisage that in 2025, we're going to get this project fully permit, and then you have 5 years to build the project, which I think de-risks completely the project. And these 5 years can be either be renewed for additional 5 years. Okay. But I think it's a big step to cross.
Yeah, for sure. I think in the market at the moment, certainly on the institutional side, on the investing side, they're looking at the companies going through that process. And there's been some not good stories out there in terms of people's ability to, one, get to the point where they're FID, and two, when they're mid-build, they're going over a budget. There's a lot, I think, big conversation here this week for sure. And I want to talk to you about that in a second. So let's kind of set this up for people. Talk about the current MRE, which you put out last year, and what you're doing with the actual, in terms of the scale and advancement of the asset.
We always said we have a tier 1 PGM project with nickel. It's high grade. So everybody, I think, recognize the next project which we're going to be built in PGM is ours. Right. The grades are there. The size are there.
You're talking globally, right?
Globally.
Right, okay, yeah.
Also, the infrastructure that we have surrounded us is terrific. Like you have roads to the camp, David Road to the camp. You have 3 power lines. Power in Brazil is still very cheap compared to any place in the world except in the West. And you have basically a government that is pro-mining, different than many other jurisdictions where you see restrictions like Peru, North America. You see a lot of stories, some states very good, but some states opposing to mine. Brazil globally is pro-mining. So I think Luanga is in the best spot. And another thing that it's a de-risk possibility for us is that the labor in Brazil is also quite reasonable compared to other parts of the world, includes Australia, which I was talking in this conference, and I asked the guy how much a jumbo operator makes in Australia. He said $300,000. The same guy in Brazil do $25,000 a year. So that makes Brazil, I think, very competitive worldwide.
For sure, I get that bit. But talking about the asset and the development of the asset, right? Because I think, again, the other bit of the conversation I always like having with you in terms of the business plan and the strategy. So is it a case of, look, it's big enough, we'll keep bringing more of that inferred into M&I, but we're kind of move it through to this kind of production ready state as quickly as we can because the market needs it now.
Yes. Well, in terms of the project size, we showed the market at 9.8 million ounces total, including inferred and indicated. What you've done this year is basically move some of this inferred to indicated. And we're probably going to present in the first quarter next year the update on MRE. I estimate that the resource globally is going to increase and the grades are going to be probably around the same. But I think what I want to stress is that the plans were to probably deliver this to the end of the year. But with the copper discovery, of course, we become very busy. But we didn't stop at the PGM. The PGM is getting in parallel. But one of the difficulties is the labs. We have like a slot in the labs, and we populate that slot with copper as well. So that makes us delay a little bit. But the results that we are getting are basically telling us that the project is very robust.
Right.
And I think one of the main points that I want to make is that we've showed the market some deep holes at 450 meters, which will not be in the resource update, but it's showing to the market that if we are getting more ounces and more tonnages, that is still a lot of potential to the depth of the project. So is Luanga a project of 10 million ounces? Not for sure. That's the project probably up to 350 meters maximum. And we proved that Luanga is continuous to 450 meters depth.
Okay. So Q1, we'll expect to see some revision to that resource.
Yes.
Just lay out for people that need you, so lay out the process subsequent to that for getting it to a point of like FID.
Okay. The idea is that after MRE, we're probably going to have to spend a little bit more time with the trenching because the trenching, you only do that during the dry season. And you remember, the oxide overburden is a big component because that avoids you to spend money with pre-strip and basically put this into the plant. So we're probably going to be busy until the middle of the year with the trenching. And then we're going to go to the economic studies. And in parallel, the permitting process is going on. And in parallel to all of that, we're going to keep exploring the EM anomalies and especially T5, which is the focus at the moment.
Right. Okay. So that's how things will advance through. You clearly got enough cash to do all of the above at what he did as of end of June. So still good for money.
Yeah, we were going to end the year with $22 million US. So we have today about 25 in the bank.
Yeah.
So basically, this $3 million are going to be spent until the end of the year. So the company is going to have a strong cash position for the next few years.
Are you under any pressure from your bigger shareholders to kind of move things quicker?
No,
okay.
no, exactly, because most of our shareholders has a long-term view on that. And actually, what I received from them is like, you've done a lot in so much short period.
Yeah.
Remember, we are close to 120,000 meters of drilling in Luanga globally. And that means basically 72,000 meters were done to us in 2.2 years, 26 months since we were public. And not many companies have done that using basically $30 million. That's how much we spent so far.
Well, I think you're in the lucky position where you had a lot of money up front and to be able to kind of plan things out and not go around with begging bowls asking for money for drilling. So
yes,
yeah, that really helps and takes the pressure off.
Yes, it really helps. But I must say, we are very efficient in deploying our cash. I think we know Brazil quite well. I mentioned that a few times. We have only 3 people outside of this company that is not in Brazil. So basically, our costs, we don't have mobilization costs, huge. We basically spend everything in reais. And unfortunately, the real have devaluated. At the same time, the cash in the bank has received high interest from the market. So it's a very big composite helping us as well.
So, well, let's come to the copper.
Yeah.
Because you're obviously excited about it, right?
Of course.
Right?
It's the best hole of the year.
Yeah, I know. You're excited about it. But I think I'm not sure the market's going to react to it yet. So what do you think people are expecting, with shareholders or otherwise, expecting you to do with that to kind of get them even more excited?
I think you have to look at a different view. And I think we educate the market very well, saying that we are very efficient. But we were very efficient because we know Brazil, because we know the area, and we know the deposit quite well. Remember, we received that deposit with 50,000 meters of drilling. We basically infill. Now we have a discovery, and I discovered that discovered that it came from the sky, let's say that. And it's a quite amazing hit that we had. So the market probably thought that the other holes like that will come sequentially. But you have to realize, 11 meters at 15%, it's not every day that you get, and with 3 grams of gold. So it's a gold hit with a massive amount. It's almost DSO. So basically, what we are doing, and because we are restudying this right now, we are very carefully putting the meters surround that hole, and we already extend this for 225 meters, and we are going after that. So we already drilled 8,000 meters on these coppers, and we're gonna probably look for 4,000 meters more this year, maybe a little bit further this year, and then we're gonna come back, revisit everything, replan our strategy.
Good. But I think that's important to say, right? Because some companies don't manage expectations, and the market runs away, and then they get disappointed because you haven't delivered what was in their head. Not what you said. You've delivered what you said. So in terms of the copper kit, that's what you're doing this year. Does it change plans with the PGMs and the nickel?
No, I think these both are running in parallel.
They can do that, okay.
Our team are doing that at the same time. And I just would like to emphasize is that it is different when you have a past history of the project and when you have a discovery. You make me very cautious about that because there is a lot of structural geology. There is a lot of, I think, thought behind that. It's not just put 2 + 2. And our people are very good out of that. I remember when we had Avanco, we drilled one target for 3 years, and then we reinterpret everything, and we found Antas North. And for 3 years in Avanco, we were doing Antas South, which was a good deposit, but was not economic. And I think what we need to see is that this is a magnetic deposit, know it for 30, 40 years. And we just found that there is a EOCG component over there. And those EOCGs, like look at the Valley, they have bought Carajás for 40 years, and they have 2 operating mines so far. Now the third came across. So I think it will give good results to the market pretty soon, but we need a little bit more of time.
Patience required. Yes. Okay, get it. Just finish off, because I know you're busy. You're going from 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock, you're very busy. With regards to kind of the makeup of the share register, obviously you're of a size where institutional people are interested in this. Are you looking to do more work in terms of kind of rotating some of the retail up into institutional? Is that a
I think
concern?
That's a plan for long term.
Right.
But I think our shareholder bases are pretty comfortable what they got.
Yeah.
And I read a lot of what my investors say. They're pretty comfortable. Okay. The market is the market.
Yeah.
And if the share price is sometimes oscillating, it's because Bravo is the only company that in their portfolio still been very rewarding to them.
Yeah,
and that sometimes makes them forced to liquidate some of the stocks. But you see much little stocks being circulated in the market.
Oh, no, it's horrific out there. It really is horrific out there. But I guess what I'm trying to get from you is say, look, we're not going to get distracted by short-term fluctuations in the market. We're not going to get distracted by how some people think you should run your company. We're not going to get distracted by the fact that maybe people are expecting more on the PGM side because we've got something quite good going on with the copper.
Yes. That's the message.
You've been there, done it before.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Go and enjoy yourself.
Thank you very much.